Now, when I grew up, the mindset of myself and all of my friends was that the internet was literally Satan. The internet was this extremely dangerous place, and as such, you should never give personal information about yourself online. Not even your real name, use a pseudonym. Never show your picture. And more importantly, never click on a link that's coming from a stranger. Even if a link is coming from a person that you know, you should still ask them because there's a lot of malware that hijacks someone that you know and then they spread it to others. And never meet a person from online in real life unless you've been talking to them for years and you're trusting them, right? This was the mentality that myself and my friends had, and it kept us safe. Nowadays, the mentality is that the multi-billion-dollar corporations should keep you safe. And the mentality is that Telegram is dangerous, which implies that all the others are fine, right? Like Facebook is fine, Twitter is fine, and yet I don't think they are. I think the internet is just as dangerous as it was when I grew up. It's just that now people are more trustworthy of it. I already said on a live stream that the thing that shocks me the most, especially now that I'm a father, is that you have all of these channels that are popping up that are trying to imitate Chris Hansen, and it's like how to catch a predator. And every week they have content. Every week they catch another person. Some of these channels manage to catch 2 or 3 a week. And they're not catching them on Telegram. They're catching them on mainstream social media websites. So, no, the internet is extremely dangerous. And I don't think it's the multi-billion-dollar corporation that should keep us safe or our children safe. It's the parents. Like, you as a parent need to educate your son the exact same way that I've been educated when I was a kid, that the internet is indeed a very dangerous place. Especially if you're in the United Kingdom, don't post emojis because you may get arrested. Like, seriously, like the conversation of the birds and the bees also needs to be supplemented by the conversation of the internet. Because every year on some social media, you're going to have a new challenge which ends up with people, especially children, either getting hospitalized or worse. And the first one that I heard about was the Tide Pod Challenge, but then it was like the Fire Challenge and many other challenges. Which, again, if you're a parent and you're not supervising what your child does on the internet, you may end up regretting it. So, what is the solution? Well, the solution doesn't seem to be like any campaign to try to motivate parents to teach their children about the internet. Have you ever heard of such a campaign, like a government initiative or anything like that, that encourages parents to talk with their kids? I haven't heard of any, but instead what we notice is the constant push for the government to force the companies to provide more safety. And, fair enough, but I don't know if the companies can do the impossible, because they are so large at this point that there's hundreds of millions of messages circulating every hour, to the point where, companies are trying their best, but I don't think they're ever going to be as successful as if the parents were also involved in making sure that their kids are safe. So in the latest challenge, which apparently appeared on TikTok, it's called the Blackout Challenge. It's something that also existed when I was a kid. We didn't have the internet, but we had playgrounds and we had the school. And the Blackout Challenge was basically a way to get someone to become unconscious. And it's something extremely dangerous. Obviously, the moment the teachers found out, our parents were involved. And the person that suggested it got into a lot of trouble, right? Like, notice how nowadays the person who suggested doesn't even get mentioned in the press. They don't even get punished. There's no investigation. It's just like, no, it's the company that's to blame. And the reason they're blaming the company is because, according to the judge, you can't apply 230 for the platform because apparently TikTok knew. So TikTok knew that Nala would watch the challenge video because the company customized the algorithm, placed the video on For Your page, and after it determined that the challenge was tailored and likely to be of interest to her. So I love how the judge literally treats the company as a demigod, like as if it's a thing, a living being. It's like the company knew. No, they don't. They have hundreds of millions of videos being trafficked. So they didn't know. This is not how algorithms work. In fact, Elon Musk also explained the same thing because leftists don't seem to understand algorithms on Twitter. And he was basically explaining to leftists why they keep getting right-wing content. They're not getting right-wing content because they enjoy it. They're getting right-wing content because they like to rage at it. So the algorithm goes, oh, you like to rage at this right-winger? Well, here's 10 other right-wingers to rage at them as well. Like, the algorithm just sees what you engage with. You are the one that actually tailors your experience. This is why I have 3 different accounts, because I use one account so I can get news articles, I use another account so I can listen to music, and I have another account for video games and TV shows. So my experience is basically tailored on what I click. And this should actually be education for normal people. Like, parents should know this. Like if you, and this is very important information, because if you go and you access your kid's account and you see all of these challenges or you see all of this harmful content, it means that is what your kid is looking for. That is what they are searching for. And it's true, you know, you can actually go down a rabbit hole where you look for something and then you get served other things, right? But you as a parent, you should tell your kid to knock it off, restart their account or create a new account and make sure that shit isn't there. It takes like 10 minutes a day in order to accomplish this, right? And you need to only do it 1 day a week. Just look at the content that your kid is consuming, because as you can see, it's dangerous. And secondly, a 10-year-old should not even have access to the internet. I know this may be controversial, but I genuinely think, like, if first of all, a 10-year-old shouldn't have access to any type of high technology. But if you're really that interested in giving your kids something, give them something offline. It's dangerous. I mean, look, you know, so this is a conversation that just doesn't exist. I haven't seen it on Fox News. I haven't seen it on CNN. I haven't seen it on The Guardian. Now, if you guys have heard this conversation anywhere else besides my channel, which is Parent Responsibility, please let me know, because I haven't seen it anywhere. It's almost like the government isn't interested in doing public service announcements anymore. And granted, you know, regarding TikTok, I don't want to defend this platform. I do want to say YouTube bans these challenges. Right now, I don't know when this happened, because usually a lawsuit takes time, so this may have been 3 or 4 years ago. It's not an excuse though, but like, this is the reason why YouTube always bans things that a lot of people don't understand why they get banned. It's like, you have like some extreme skateboarding, right? And this used to be a thing back in the day. Like, you used to see it on Jackass, you used to see Tony Hawk Pro Skating. Like, it was a big thing, a big cultural thing. Now on YouTube, it's usually demonetized, it's deranked, because they don't want people to do it and then get sued. And when they get sued, they say, well, 230 doesn't apply because you knew. YouTube, you knew because you placed the video. So, yeah, I mean, it is concerning, especially for smaller companies, like upstarting companies, which do not have the money to afford for AI and afford for all the other things. I would personally make it so that if you benefit from Section 230, your algorithm should be open source. I think that would be fair. I think that everyone should be able to see, just like when you buy something and you get to look and see what's on the box, and you get to see the ingredients. I think that's how Section 230 should operate. I don't think it's like, oh, you're a big company, so 230 doesn't apply to you anymore because of the algorithm. No. I think the algorithm should be made public so people actually know what they're getting into when they're using a platform. Because there are some shenanigans afoot, especially with TikTok. Right? I don't want to defend this company, because if you look at the Chinese version of TikTok and you look at what's trending there, it's wholesome videos. It's how to get into carpentry, how to start a business, how to make money, right? Like it's information. It's things that actually helps a person improve. When you look at the American version of, and you look at TikTok, what do you get? Well, you get the LGBTs, you get fat acceptance. Like, I guess that a person can improve at their LGBTs, you know, they don't know the LGBTs enough, so they can improve it, and it is a level of enrichment, I suppose. But it is a question, like, why isn't it happening in China? Well, now, the interesting part was, no, well, you know, like, it's a different country, oh, come on, fuck off. Like, you're telling me that the people in China aren't interested in the LGBTs, they're interested in carpentry. And the people in the United States, they're not interested in mathematics, they're interested in these types of challenges. Right? No, absolutely not. It's the algorithm, which is one of the main reasons that TikTok doesn't want to sell. Because right now with the banned TikTok app, they wanted them to sell. They're never going to sell because they would have to show the algorithm, and that would make them uncomfortable. But yeah, regarding this 230 thing, some people say it's good, some people say it's bad. Right now it's an appeal court, so it would have to go all the way to the Supreme Court in order for 230 to be struck down. It's not necessarily good or bad, right? If 230 is removed and everything that the companies do is now considered speech, well, in that case, they can become even more censorious. They can become overly censorious because they would be afraid that if they allow things the way they are, they can get sued even more. And it's going to damage a lot of smaller companies like Rumble and others if this actually happens. So no, I still think that the best thing with 230 would be to force them to either show the algorithm and what they're taking into account when they're promoting something. And if the user is to blame, then the user is to blame. I mean, look, if you're going out of your way to search for a specific type of content, then even without the algorithm, you're going to find that content, right? So, like, if you're searching for death metal, and then your entire feed is with death metal, like, can you really blame the company? Or is it like, well, that's what you've been searching for, right? So this is, again, another conversation that's not happening. And another thing that I noticed, like, when you're trying to have conversations on the internet, everyone is angry and everyone is infuriated. Like, they can't just, say their opinion and maybe see if they can change the mind of the other person and reach a middle ground or something. No, that just doesn't happen. It's like, either you have the correct opinion or you fuck off. That's the internet in 2024. Still, really sad that this happened. I do think that TikTok shouldn't allow these types of dangerous challenges. I understand it's difficult for anyone to monitor them and to figure out when a challenge becomes viral. But I do know that YouTube blocks them. So most of these challenges that are happening aren't happening on YouTube because they immediately get blocked. Like, if you encourage people to do something that's dangerous, YouTube does take action. But again, even YouTube is slow because these things are happening in real time. They go viral in a couple of hours. And even if you have an entire staff team dedicated to this, they can only do so much. And then they move into other places like TikTok or Kick. Let me know what you guys think. As usual, I'll see you in the comment section and educate your kids about the internet. This is actually very important.